everyone, it's Kelly and it's time for another finished video. This time it will be Mirabilia's Siren and the Shipwreck. I stitched her on a 32 count Pearl Gray Belfast linen 2/2 with the skin 1/1. I only did some very minor color and bead changes. Some were just to suit my preferences, and some changes or I guess substitutions were to try and bring some costs down, because this one, if you kit her up according to the pattern, she is quite pricey. So I will go ahead and just dive right in and with all the changes and the close-ups, and stick in a little slideshow at the end of some photos. Hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. Alright, so starting at the top, the most noticeable changes that I made were to her crown. There's supposed to be about 7 different flower treasures in here, and I decided that it wasn't that important to me to have those treasures, and those treasures were also pretty expensive when you added all of them up, and I couldn't find any substitutes that I was happy with. So what I did instead was I just kind of recharted in just kind of a filler for the treasures throughout her crown, and so I used just white size 8 and 11 Mill Hill beads to make these little like star thingies throughout her crown, and I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. Another big change was the color of all these beads out in here. Originally those are supposed to be Mill Hill 168, and I used a Toho color, and again, all the little minor details will be in the description box down below. But those ones were originally this color right here. Another change that I made was there is a Caron Waterlilies used in her crown. It is this blue and purple one, and that's Blue Lavender. And I'm not big on the kind of periwinkly color that is kind of featured throughout the design, so I already had this on hand, so I used this, and it's a Threadworx. You can just kind of see it come out a little bit all throughout her crown. And then also I switched 2 of the DMC colors. They were kind of like a off-white and yellow color, and instead I chose some really pale bluish greenish aqua color, like super pale, to kind of brighten, I guess, that crown thing that's on her head. I also changed her lip colors. I think they were more kind of like a magenta in the original, and as you can see, I did her skin 1/1. Took a very long time, there's a lot of it, and I changed a couple of her skin colors. There were 2 skin colors that were blended threads, and I wasn't trying to mess with that with how much skin she had, so I did my best to pick out a different gradient, and it turned out okay. I did try and soften those right angles throughout her skin, and some places look better than others because sometimes I forgot to do it, but overall I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. On the chart, her eyes, the back stitching on her eyes was, I don't know, it was just kind of confusing for me, so I'll give a kind of close up for you guys. And then let's see, another change to her hair was there was like a big splotch of white here and another one down here, and I just kind of filled it in with what looked like similar patterning for her hair to kind of get rid of those white things, you know, the little barnacle-y bits. Get a little close-up of her skin. And here's our chandelier. Yeah, you always hear that you want to do all your beads the same exact way so everything looks consistent, but I was having a really hard time with that on her. So I just decided to heck with it, and like these ones, you can see they're angled this way, and on this side they're angled this way, and then some of them are lined up straight, and I just kind of let them angle wherever it seemed to make sense in my mind, I guess. There wasn't really a rhyme or reason. And then also just if I felt like everything could be straight and that's what looked right, I would try and do that. But then like over here, let's see, you can see they're all slanted in the same way. So, and then in the chandelier, same thing, I used the color substitutes that I used in her crown. Down a bit. So in the body of her tail, there's one water lily, Caron Waterlilies that's used. It's this one, I think it's called Blueberry. And it looks like it's gonna have a really nice variegation because it's got kind of purples and blues. But I wasn't really that impressed with how it actually stitched up. So it was used all along the outside of that dark blue center part. And I mean, you can tell, but I don't know. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. And both of the Caron Waterlilies that are charted, I feel like I easily could have found substitutes in the hand-dyed cottons. So that might be an option for anyone who wants to try and reduce the cost of this one, to try and look for cotton substitutes instead. But anyways, so one other color substitute that I did was, let's see, this bright blue in here, and then kind of scattered throughout over there, but mostly you can see it here. That was originally kind of like a greenish color, and it looked fine, but I felt like I could have picked a something that kept it more of a blue color, and so I was able to do that, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. And let's see, for the beads in the body of her tail, let's see if I can get to focus. There we go. So this, and this are 3 different colors, and in the chart it's all one color. It's supposed to be that one periwinkle that's used in the crown, and I decided I wasn't really liking how that looked in there, so I looked through the beads I already had, and I already had these colors, so I didn't have to buy them extra, but I'll go ahead and link them or put them in the description box. And I just kind of these light ones were easier to put in the center because you just kind of look wherever, you know, this light green color was, and I put it in there. And then with these 2 blues, I just kind of kept the lightest one closest to the center, and then the ones that are more on the outside did the little bit darker one. And I'll show those in just a moment. Alright, so in these little wispy bits here, I forgot to do my color substitutes, so those ended up with the kind of yellowish flosses. It doesn't look that bad, but you know, I would have liked to have remembered to do the other ones to kind of get rid of that yellowish tint, but overall it's fine. And then here's the tail. And so, like in this section here, and here in these little small bits, that's the Caron Waterlilies, so it actually turned out pretty good. You can kind of see how it's both blue and purple in there. And then, like in here, this little, and then just kind of scattered around. It's that other water lilies, and it's very difficult to see that it's variegated, so, but this is one that I kitted up very early on before I realized I like to change everything. So I got all the called for stuff without searching for substitutes. So, but it's okay. So that is Siren in the Shipwreck by Mirabilia. I really love how she turned out. The colors are just so rich, and there's so much sparkle and texture with all those beads in there. All the details will be down in the description box. And thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this finished video, and I will see you next time.